Okay, today's one of the nicest days this March that we had. It's a beautiful day. I had a few things to do running around, and I thought I'd come out and discuss a couple of different things. This is a 30-pound bow, only 30 pounds, and this is my 3D bow, right? I'm shooting really ultralight arrows, okay? They're almost at the verge of being too light, but they're okay. They fly good, all right? And wanted to talk a couple of things. One about, you really don't need a lot of weight for target shooting, okay? You need just to have good form. And I want to talk about breathing. You know, you should take a break. You should breathe in between, okay? In between the shots. And when I used to teach the kids a lot, I'd always see these parents sometimes would like push their kids, more weight, more draw weight, change the limbs. You know, and you really shouldn't do that unless you've got a goal of trying to get your kid to a hunting weight bow for hunting season. And that's a little different because you don't want to take that, you don't want to have them shoot 60 arrows at a heavy hunting weight and they're inconsistent, okay? So my recommendation is when you're shooting target, you want to be a shooting machine. You don't need a lot of weight, okay, especially for the kids. And if you have a young kid, young adult, wants to go hunting, and let's say your state has a minimum of 35 pounds or 40 pounds, what you do is you can, yes, build them up to it. And what you want them to do is really have a good form for that 1 or 2 shots that they may get. So they got to be strong. If they're using a hunting bow, I tell them, okay, step to the line, here comes the deer. I want you to be strong, be a shooting machine. Whether you use back tension and release, keep your hand against your face, okay? Elbow all the way back. If somebody pushed on it, it would turn your whole body, okay? Okay? Be a shooting machine and keep your arm up after the shot, okay? Especially for hunting. They want to do, especially kids and a lot of hunters, what they want to do is when they release on an animal that they want to take, harvest, they drop their arm like this, watch. And the reason they do that, it's like peeking, is they want to watch the arrow hit. And 80% of the time or more, that arrow will go underneath. And I tell the kids, young kids, like, picture a train on a railroad track. And the front of the track is the shelf or rest, right? Goes for anything, compound anything, right? The front is like a train track, okay? If you lower the train track, where's the train going? Down. So keep it up on target. When you release, keep your hand against your face, whether it's back tension, all right? Keep your hand on target, okay? You'll be able to see the deer run away with the arrow in it, okay? Or the hole in it, you'll be able to see everything. Just trust your shot. A lot of times peeking is they don't trust the shot, okay? The next thing is for target. I went to with a bunch of kids. We took them through the JOAD program. I forget what state it was, maybe Virginia, somewhere, I don't remember. Years ago, many years ago. And I happened to watch this young man from another state, don't even know where he was from, shooting a Olympic recurve. Oh, you know what it was? He was shooting the compounds, with the compounds. And I went up to him and I says, wow, that was some nice shooting, you did good. I says, just out of curiosity, how many pounds is that bow? He says, 35 pounds. I said, oh, nice shooting. And the reason I asked him was, because this kid could have pulled more weight than I could. He looked like he lifted weights, you know? Could have pulled back an 80-pound bow without blinking an eye. And when you got a 35-pound bow, plus a compound with let off, you're a shooting machine. You know, everything stays there, your form's good, and you'll be more accurate, and you shot really well, okay? So, that's what I want to talk to you. A couple things about, one was the difference between getting a kid ready for hunting or a beginning archer. Don't have to be a kid, beginning archer, getting ready for hunting. okay? You don't want to have to jump right up to that hunting weight. Take some time getting there. And the other thing is, when you do get there, practice only a couple of shots. If you feel you start yourself getting fatigued, stop shooting for the day. It's better you shoot 3-4 arrows and hit every time than try to shoot 60 and you're all over the place, okay? Because that just makes bad habits and bad form. So, all right, I got my little 30-pound bow, got my 3D targets. Okay, I'm gonna set this camera up a little differently. The sun's out, blinding me, but hopefully you can see what's going on here. Okay, what I do for hunting, let me go a little closer to get to where I gotta shoot. Okay, what I do for hunting, I gap shoot. Okay, so what I do is I see the point of the arrow, close range, like that bear, I would put it on the belly. Maybe 20 yards, the point to be on. Maybe 25, I'd have to put the point on top of the back, okay? And I know a few people asked me to mention this too, about split vision. That's like Howard Hill used split vision. And what that was, he focused on the spot, okay? His focus was downrange on the spot. And when he drew, he did see the arrow tip, but he saw it in his peripheral vision. He saw it as a secondary picture. The main picture or area of focus was the target. And that's how he shot, okay? So my eyesight isn't that good. So I'd rather focus on the tip of the arrow. Sometimes I'll shoot and the guys will say, "Oh, that's a great shot, Joe." And I said, I really don't know until I get down there and see, because I put it in the general area where it's supposed to be, and I really can't tell if it was high or low because I just can't see down there, okay? And I don't shoot well with glasses, so that's the other reason, okay? So for 3D with this little bow, right? Look at me. Sun's blinding me, I'm not paying attention, okay? For closer range, here, I'll just give you an example. And string walking is different for everybody. You're still using the point, but you're making the adjustments from the back. So the point is always on, and the adjustments are in the back. With gap shooting, you put the point higher and lower. String walking, your adjustments are in the back, and you put it on target. So there's a bear. That bear's 15 yards, okay? See these Yost, I love this Yost tab. See the marks on it? There's like 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch marks. They may not be 1/4 8, but that's what they look like. So that's what I use as a reference, okay? So that bear's at 15. I'm gonna go down 1 inch for the big marks, okay? And then I put my nail there. I hope you can see this, okay? And then I slide the tab down, okay? I pull back, okay? And then what I want you to do is something I really didn't discuss before, is breathing. And I want you to breathe in. You can raise your shoulders up and breathe out. And you want your shoulders down, okay? If you ever see a kid with their shoulder popping up, there's a couple of reasons, but the main one is that they're overbowed, okay? So in between each shot, breathe in, breathe out, shoulders down. Now we're gonna try and hit that deer. That deer is at 20 yards, okay? Now this is different for everybody, okay? So that bear was like 1 inch. Now that deer, we're gonna go down 1/2 inch, okay? Okay, good enough, see? Try to be a shooting machine. That deer over here on the right, okay, on the right side, that deer is about 25 yards. I'm gonna go down on that deer 1/4 inch. Now, the further you go back, all right, the further you go back, the more you have to be that shooting machine, because you tend to drop your arm a little bit. Further back, you kind of want to see the arrow a little bit more. You got to trust your shot. So I'm going to go down 1/4 of an inch, okay? I hope you can see this. The sun is really killing me. I can't even see the camera. 1/4 inch, slide it down. Okay, look. Shoulders down. Okay, and remember I said I can't really see where it went? I think it went in there, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to move this camera stand over a little bit. Okay. Okay, there's a deer way back there. From where I'm standing, it's 29, 30 yards. Now, when you string walk, you get to a point where your point on is, and that means you go right under the knock, okay? Well, with this setup, the odd thing is from 25 yards, the point on is somewhere between 25 and 30 yards, okay? And these light arrows, okay, it's like throwing a cannonball with a lot of energy behind it. It retains the energy. Or throwing a little soccer ball, a mini soccer ball, and it don't retain that much energy. Okay, these fizzle out. So what I have to resort to is a little weird. It's no longer really string walking because it's past my point on. So I go all the way up to the knock. Okay, I'm all the way up to the knock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the gap method at this point because it's beyond the string walking and point on. And I'm going to put the point resting on the top of the deer. Okay? Let's see. All right? So here we go. I'm going to show you again. Breathe in, breathe out, shoulders down, rest. Draw back. Okay, be the shooting machine, okay? And, you know, I want you just to remember those things. Don't be overbowed. If you need to get to a heavy weight for hunting purposes, whether you're a young adult or an adult, do it gradually. I'd rather you do 3 really good solid hits, take a break, go inside, or shoot the next day, because you only need that one perfect hit on a deer. You have to have good form and be a shooting machine. And if you shoot too many arrows with a heavy bow, you can't do that. And if you're a 3D guy, I see a lot of guys. The older guys, I talked to one older guy, he said, I shoot 55 pounds. And I watch him shoot. You don't get all the way back. He says, I says, well, why don't you go lower? I'll lend you a bow. He says, no, I'm afraid once I go down, I'll never pull that back again. You know, you have to accept your fate. I gave up 65-pound bows long ago, okay? But it is what it is, all right? So stay light. Let's go check out the targets. Okay, you see the bear, let's see. That's my 15-yard, 1 inch. This is my 20 yards, okay? And that's a 1/2 inch. And I'm close to the 10 ring, but really it's on the outside of the 10 ring, okay? So here's the 25 yards. Right? And the 25 yards was a 1/4 inch. Okay, just happened to be for the setup. It ain't gonna be the same for you. It won't even be close. Okay? And this is the 29, 30 yard target. Okay? And since I ran out of, my point on is back further, somewhere between the 25 and here, I actually rested the arrow on top. And the reason for that is that these arrows are light and they just run out of gas. And at some point they just drop out of the sky, okay? So that's it. Okay, there was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you about in addition to all this is when you're shooting targets, right? Don't pay attention to somebody next to you, okay? Like, especially if you're competing against one of your buddies. Oh, he got an X in a 10 ring. And then you're not focusing on your shot. Don't worry about the shot and don't count scores in your head. Just when you step to the line, relax, breathe in, breathe out, draw, anchor, focus, be a shooting machine, release. If it goes bad, don't even worry about it, okay? If it goes low, don't even think about it. You probably just drop your arm or something. The next shot, just don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. Just draw back, okay? Be on target and have a clean release, okay? So, you know, I used to watch the kids compete and then I used to tell them all this stuff. And every once in a while, I'd see somebody that counted. I said, listen, stop that. I says, you know what's going to happen? You're going to shoot terrible while you're counting. Your mind is not focused on the shot. Your mind's focused on what that guy's doing. All right? And we all have good days and bad days. There's days that I come in, I just shoot bad. I'm tired, I'm fatigued, whatever. You know, there's a million excuses. All right? But the reason is, without excuses, I didn't concentrate. I didn't step to the plate, step to the line, and focus and do my job. My job was to execute a shot with good form, keeping my hand against my face, whether it's static or back tension, and not dropping my arm, keeping my arm up after the shot. So that was the other thing I just wanted to talk to you about. Added it on, all right? I want you all to do good. I tell everybody I teach, you know, when we go to these 3D tournaments, I want you to shoot better than me, you know? I really get enjoyment. I get more enjoyment watching somebody I taught shoot better than me, than even when I shot. You know, you go in the house, I got like a bucket full of pins. It don't mean nothing to me. When I have young kids come over to my house and I teach them, after I teach them, if I see that, you know, how they are, if they hit every one of the deer targets, I'll give them one of those pins. And so you tell everybody, you got that pin for hitting all the deer targets at Joe Zumo's yard. You know, the young kids, you know, and it gives them, you know, a feeling of accomplishment, and it makes them want to shoot more, okay? So all I got to say today, I just wanted to do a little video in. It's beautiful out, okay? I think we got rain coming up, but it's a beautiful day today. Every morning that you wake up is a good day. Make the best of it. Get out and shoot.